What's up, B2? Capital G here, checking out the brand new Solemn card that has finally been revealed in Savage Strike. The one big problem with it is it's not technically a Solemn card. It's not a counter trap. It also doesn't have Solemn in the name. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I feel like I got incredibly debated by Konami because I was so hyped because, I love the Solemn Brigade and I'm just a player who always likes to feel comfortable with a whole bunch of traps in my back row. And I talked about how excited I was with this card, but it's not technically part of the Solemn family. Now, it does continue on the storyline with God and the Maiden, and she's supposed to be Pandora. Then she goes around and she's touching all his stuff, and he catches her and he warns her, and she still does it anyways, and he strikes her, and she ends up being a condemned maiden. And obviously, she's pretty mad because she's trying to actually attack God. Now, I don't know if that's gonna work. My prediction is that it won't work, and I think the storyline is actually going to end with the next card. I think our next card is going to be a Solemn, and I think he's actually going to kill her, unfortunately, but that is not this card. And we're going to go ahead and talk about this card. It actually has some crazy potential. Although it kind of took me to realize it. It took me a little bit because, when I first read the card, I was just so disappointed that it wasn't actually a Solemn. That's the only thing that I could think about. Then I was like, wait a minute. This card is it could be absolutely amazing. This can literally be a game ender if you resolve it. So, Witch's Strike, normal trap card. It says if your opponent negated the normal summon / special summon of a monster, or if your opponent negated the activation of a card or effect, destroy all cards your opponent controls and have in their hand. I gotta say, during my kind of disappointment phase, I really missed that last part of the effect. I was like, who cares? I get to, blow up my opponent's field. That's cool, but this card is way too situational. It's trash confirmed, but I didn't realize the fact that it also nukes their entire hand. And really, when you look at that, it's like, wait a minute. So if I resolve Witch's Strike, I get to nuke my opponent's entire board and their entire hand. Like, how the fuck do you even lose when you do that? Seriously, I don't see any way that you lose a duel once you resolve this card's effect because it's just too damn impactful. And even though some people are going to understand some of the cards that it stops, it's a card that can stop really all the good Solemns. Your opponent uses Solemn Judgment on, I don't know, maybe your bottomless trap hole. If they Solemn Strike your monster effect, or if they just Solemn Warning your normal summon, you can obviously just kind of wreck them with this card. But the thing is, there are actually more activation conditions, and some of them are actually cards that you wouldn't think of. I'm talking about actual hand traps. And no, I'm not going to get it twisted. I'm not going to be like, oh, you can use this against Effect Veiler and Ash Blossom. No, those cards, unfortunately, and I guess you could put impermanence in there because it's literally a hand trap. Those cards just negate effects. However, there are some hand traps in Yu-Gi-Oh! That actually negate activations. Think of something like Psyframe Gear Gamma. That card not only negates the effect of the monster, but it negates the activation. So you can use this in response to your opponent using Gamma once they've already resolved that. It also would stop something like Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion. For some reason, she's kind of the only lolly hand trap, the little zombie girls, who actually negates activation. So you can use this in certain situations against cards that don't even activate on the field. Now, I wish that it did work against, Called by the Grave and Effect Veiler and stuff like that. Then this card would have been ridiculous. But there are even some meta applications because I'm an Altergeist player and I have not won many duels when I have not resolved Altergeist Protocol. So if a deck like Altergeist, if you happen to use one of your monster effects, it can even be something like a hand trap, and an Altergeist player uses that protocol. If you activate Witch's Strike against them, they're just probably going to lose the duel. I mean, seriously, Altergeists are not going to have pretty much any answer to that. They're going to lose every single card, and at that point, they probably have just lost the duel. So this card could literally hard counter Altergeist as an archetype. You just have to make sure that they protocol you when you have this card set, and chances are they're going to use protocol. It's literally it's one of the best defensive cards that they have. That, Sequidius, and Hextia, among other things. But I do think that this card, maybe if we get more negations in the game, we get another archetype that relies on its boss monster, something like a Six Samurai, how they used to be with Six Samurai Shien, where they always wanted that thing on the field. I mean, yes, it's a super niche card, but I do like the fact that the ceiling of the card is honestly through the roof. The fact is, you probably should win a duel where you resolve this or resolve the card, and I kind of like that. I mean, if you're going to make my card super situational, then I kind of want to have a ceiling of the card that's, basically in heaven, and I kind of feel like that's where this card is, aimed to be. I honestly, again, do think that this is not the end of the storyline. I think that he is going to end up killing her, and I think that that's going to be our next Solemn card, and that will probably end the Solemn storyline. Well, at least for for, you know, the Vrains era or something like that. But let me know what you guys think of the new strike card. I don't want to even continue to call it a Solemn because that's just going to debate people even harder. But thank you guys for watching. As always, subscribe if you have not already and turn on that notification bell for daily videos.